This conference will now be recorded.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। मुश्किल आसान या अली मदद रसान या अली 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 अल्लाहुम्मा लक सुजूदी बता अती या अली मदद अजीज सर
या अली मदद बहुत खूब सुभान अल्लाह शुक्रान अल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद. Thank you for joining us today. Inshallah, we will read another Baitul Khiyal Farman, and you will see in this Farman, Imam has not only given us guidance, but a traditional truth, fact of our tariqah, inshallah. So with your prayer and Imam's mercy, let's start with the pure name of Nur Maulana Shah Karim al-Hussaini Hazir Imam. Hazir Imam, Ya Maulay Mehraban, Madad Farma, Allahul Qayyum, Ali Allah, 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 Madad Farma. Ya Maulay Mehraban, Tawfiq, Taid, Himmat wa Yari Maula. In the name of beloved Imam, please recite the Holy Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. London, United Kingdom, August 6, 1994. In the Baitul Qiyal Farman, Mullah says, the Farman that I will give to you this afternoon is important. That is, practice of Baitul Qiyal is an historical practice in our Jamaat. It has existed for decades and decades and decades. It is central to the practice of our tariqah. And we will come back to this word, central to the practice of our tariqah. But it is voluntarily. Nobody should come into Baitul Qiyal unless they do so of their own free choice. In this one paragraph, Mullah is telling us, guiding us, drawing our attention to how important ibadat bandagi is to our tariqah. Matter of fact, it is the central, the core, the essence of our tariqah. I believe previous time when we were reading this Farman on Saturday, someone had asked a question. How about other Muslims or other religion tariqas outside the Ismaili tariqah? What is their way of ibadat? And how far can they go with their ibadat? हम यहाँ पर क्या करना चाहते हैं कि पहले इस पैराग्राफ को हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिसमें मौला फरमाते हैं कि इबादत जो है वो कोई नई चीज नहीं है, ये हम साल से करते आए हैं, बल्कि ये हमारे मजहब का असल है, कोर है, फाउंडेशन है। यानी कि हमारा मजहब जो है वो इबादत के करीब करीब घूमता है, क्योंकि मौलाना ने अल्फाज यूज किया कि वो हमारे तरीके का सेंट्रल है, मीनिंग is right in the middle of it, everything else goes around it. अगर कोई कहे कि हमारे मजहब के जो फराइज हैं क्या उसमें इबादत शामिल है, तो मौला फरमाते हैं कि ये वॉलंटरी है, ये वॉलंटरी है, ये आपकी ऊपर छोड़ा हुआ है, आपकी फ्री विल पर छोड़ा हुआ है, आपकी फ्री चॉइस पर रखा हुआ है। लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि इसकी अहमियत नहीं है, और इसी के बारे में नाचीज कुछ बातें करना चाहेगा आपकी इजाजत से। हमारे मजहब में जो फराइज हैं, यानी कि 3 टाइम दुआ, प्रैक्टिस के लिहाज से कंबाइनली द सोन वो भी इंडिविजुअल है, चांद रात मजलस वो हम पर फर्ज की गई है, लेकिन 3 टाइम दुआ जो है वो हमारे मजहब की शरीयत और डेली प्रैक्टिस है। जबकि इबादत के लिए फरमाया गया कि इबादत जो है वो हमारे मजहब का सेंट्रल पॉइंट, central practice is right in the middle, the core foundation is ibadat, but not as a shariat, not as a compulsory, not as that you must do, but only if you wish to do. And we take this as, oh, if I say my 3 time dua, then I am done with our tariqah, I'm done with my practice, I'm done with my Farman Bardari. And we put so much emphasis on 3 time dua. I mean, when the wash strikes 7 o'clock, oh my God, we just rush. But 4 o'clock in the morning, we are sleeping. No attention is paid, no importance is given. Second thought, nope. आपने देखा कि मौला फरमा रहे हैं कि इबादत जो है वो हमारे मजहब का कोर है, सेंट्रल टू द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ आवर तरीका, मीनिंग विदाउट द इबादत we cannot practice our tariqa. And Mullah explains in the second paragraph. Let's come to second paragraph. I hope you understood that ibadat is a must, not compulsory, voluntary, but a must, a central part of our tariqa. And we will talk about how and why, because there was a question that was asked last week. Then what about other tariqas within the Islam or other religion outside the Islam. Sometimes we find them meditating. So we will talk about that. And don't let me forget. Let's come to the second paragraph. Mullah says, the second aspect of Baitul Khayal is important, is that it has been part of the Shia tradition right from the time of Hazrat Ali Murtaza, not only to practice the faith regularly during the normal times, but also to participate individually in the search for spiritual. Before I go to the next page, let's talk about these 3 lines here. And what did you notice? It has been part of Shia tradition. Meaning, the ibadat is with the Ali and Imam Zaman. Now the question that was asked, we can shed some light on that. Because ibadat requires Isme Azam. And Isme Azam is belong to Isme Zat, meaning to the Imam of the time. When we see other Muslimin, when and if they perform ibadat, they take one of the name of Allah from the Quran without the permission, without the prayers, blessings, Khanavadan of the Imam Zaman, and Isme Azams belong to the Ali Zaman. And that is why we understand that ibadat is the core central to our tariqah, as we are with and we have Imam Zaman, and he is the one who blesses the Jamaat or those members of the Jamaat who would say, Ya Mullah, as Ismaili, as part of this tariqah, I would like to do a spiritual search. I would like to elevate my soul. I would like a bowl, but with the bowl, what they are asking, if they are understanding, that's the important point. What they are asking with this Isme Azam, if they are understanding, Ya Mullah, we want your blessing. We need Imam's prayers. We want your nur and your guidance with Isme Azam. And when we receive the Isme Azam from the Ali Zaman, because Isme Azams are belong to Imam Saman, then he happily gives that Isme Azam to us. And with that Isme Azam, remember it's the same Isme Azam, there's one other than Ismaili can get it from the Quran. But with this Isme Azam, his Khana Vadan, Dua Ashish, and the Noor comes with it. In other words, it's not empty. It is just not a word from the Quran. It is just not a word that they heard from their parents or elders. Something that you can learn. This is given as a blessing to the murid. And which murid? The one with the free will have chosen to go to Imam with their free will saying, Ya Mola Baba, I would like to do ibadat. Now, when we go to Imam, and when Imam comes and gives us the bowl, there are two-way contract. Two-way contract? A promise. And Mullah says, if you promise me that you are serious about ibadat, without any excuse, you will practice ibadat. That's all you have to do. Just wake up and sit in ibadat. Then leave rest to me. My blessings are with you. I will guide you how and when, meaning this is how you're going to do it, and this is the time you're going to do it. There is no ifs and buts question, because Imam wants you to succeed in this personal search in the ibadat. So he does his part. He says, I will bless you. I will come. I will stand next to you. I will hold your hand. My Khana Vadan, Dua Ashish will be with you. अगर आप आते हैं और वादा करते हैं कि आप टाइम पर, जिस टाइम पर मैं बोलता हूं और जिस तरह मैं बोलता हूं इबादत करोगे, तो मेरा वादा है कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ खड़ा रहूंगा, तुम्हारा हाथ पकड़ूंगा, तुम्हें दुर्वणी दूंगा किस तरह ये इबादत करनी है. It's a two-way promise. Now let's come back to this. So we understand this is a part of the Shia tradition right from the time of Hazrat Ali, not only to practice the faith regularly during the normal times, but also to participate individually in the search of spiritual elevation. And that is done by each individual. It is not done as a congregational practice. It is done by each individual. And each individual seeks during his lifetime to find that spiritual enlightenment. What did Mullah Baba say? And each individual seek during his lifetime to find that spiritual enlightenment, that spiritual happiness that comes from the search, not from the practice of faith in congregation, not in the practice of the faith in congregation. Did you hear that? हम जो 3 टाइम दुआ पढ़ते हैं मिल बैठकर, उससे वो रूहानी खुशी नहीं मिलने वाली है. Mullah Papa is telling us in plain English, no hiding, that personal search. Only thing you have to do is come and sit, and this happiness is yours. Personal search, the spiritual search will bring that spiritual enlightenment and the happiness that we are looking for, that peace. वो सुकून जो इबादत में सिर्फ बैठने से मिलता है. बस अब आकर इबादत में बैठे, आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना है. आप आए, इबादत में बैठे, वो इसमें आज़म जो मौला ने आपको दिया है, आप उसको चापें हैप्पीली. आपको और कुछ नहीं करना है. और ये खुशी सिर्फ और सिर्फ इबादत से मिल सकती है, ना कि जो रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस हम 3 टाइम दुआ पढ़ते हैं उससे नहीं मिलने वाली है, क्योंकि वो फर्ज है. जो फर्ज है वो तो कर्ज है, वो तो करना ही है. लेकिन इबादत is the one which will bring you spiritual enlightenment and spiritual happiness, and it will not come from the practice of the faith in congregation. आपने देखा कि कितना सिंपली मौला ने हमें बच्चों की तरह समझाया है. अब वो सारे क्वेश्चन खत्म हो जाते हैं कि क्या मैं इबादत करूं कि नहीं करूं, मुझे बोल लेना चाहिए कि नहीं लेना चाहिए, मुझे बैतुल खाल में आना चाहिए कि नहीं आना चाहिए, मैं घर में उठ के इबादत करूं कि जमात खाने जाऊं. इस सारे सवालात का जवाब यहाँ पर मौजूद है, और वो क्या है? आप इबादत में बैठे, इबादत करें, क्योंकि इबादत ही एक वो जरिया है जिससे आप वो रूहानी खुशी हासिल कर सकते हैं जिसकी हर इंसान को चाहत है. लेकिन किसी वजह से, समझ या ना समझने से, for whatever reason, we don't give that importance to the ibadat as we do to 3 time dua. Like I said, and I have seen this, whenever 7 o'clock strikes in the evening, we rush, we run. If we are home, we gather our family and we put so much emphasis on the dua recitation. Can you imagine if you only put 10% of that emphasis, 10% of that effort and attention on ibadah, only 10%. And let's be honest to ourselves, self-reflection question. How many times do you call your children for dua when you are home? And how many times do you call your children for ibadat? If I'm wrong, please tell me. Why? The reason is because we think, and there's no hiding, there's no denying, that dua is much more important than ibadat. When Imam is saying that ibadat is central to our tariqah. Ibadat is the one which will bring you a spiritual enlightenment, not dua. Ibadat is the one which will bring you happiness, not dua. Ibadat is the one which will bring you strength to fight with whatever is happening in your lifetime, in your life, at your work, at your family, at your home, whatever trials and turbulence you are going through. Ibadat will give you that strength to face it. Do you see that? All these different farman of the Imam, his focus, his farman, his guidance is toward the ibadat. Our focus is toward the shariat, toward the 3-time dua. No emphasis is given to ibadat. And if check yourself, if you have children at home, just think about last month in August, 30 days. How many times did you call them for dua in the evening? And how many times did you wake them up for the ibadat in the morning? If your answer is never, then you are with the majority of us. If your answer is never, then you will be in the majority. And why we don't do that? Because we are not putting any emphasis, importance to the ibadat. All right, so let's come to the next paragraph. Mullah says, the spiritual approach to tariqah, because it is a spiritual approach to the tariqah. Now, that's all I want to read these 2 sentences, 1 line. This spiritual approach to tariqah, because it is a spiritual approach to tariqah. This will highlight the point I was trying to make in above paragraph. ये बात मौला फरमाते हैं कि इबादत जो है वो स्पिरिचुअल अप्रोच है, स्पिरिचुअल तरीका है हमारे तरीके को देखने और पकड़ने का, और ये स्पिरिचुअल तरीका है मौला फरमाते हैं. दिस स्पिरिचुअल अप्रोच टू तरीका, द इबादत, वो स्पिरिचुअल अप्रोच तरीका रास्ता है हमारे तरीके का. अब यहां पर ठहरे, बाकी जो आप करते हैं वो क्या है? वो फिजिकल अप्रोच. So if this farman was for the dua, we would say the dua is the physical approach to tariqah, because that is a physical approach. Ibadat is the spiritual approach, because it is a spiritual approach to tariqah. अब मेरे को बताएं आप, combinedly together, remember I'm with you on this journey. हमारा सारा वक्त फिजिकली, हमारा दिल, हमारी जबान, हमारी आंख, कान, हमारा थॉट्स, everything is focused on physical. When we know, I don't think there is anyone on this line who does not know that this physical is temporary. This physical life will end tomorrow. That is guaranteed. That is guaranteed that this physical time will pass and will come to an end. For something which is so temporary, we are focusing 100%, and something which is spiritually, something that will come with you, something which is permanent. Our mind, our thought, our ears, mouth, eyes, our physical strength, our heart is not there. It's not there. What would be the reason for that? And I don't think we are lazy people. I don't want to buy that logic. I don't think we are lazy people. What I think that we are not understanding. We have not understood the importance of ibadat. Because if we have, then we will not be doing ibadat of 1 hour. We would be doing ibadat of 2 hours. We will make that ibadat more center to our tariqah, our practice. That would be in the front, not in the back. So what we have done, dua must, ibadat maybe. Dua today, ibadat next week. Dua now, ibadat when I'll get old. Remember, if I'm saying anything incorrectly, please correct me. And this is for self-reflection. Individually, it's for self-reflection. So let's come back to the Farman. This is spiritual approach to the tariqah, because it is a spiritual approach to the tariqah. It's a long historic tradition, and therefore, by being accepted in Baitul Khiyal today, the murids who are here are joining a long tradition of individual search for spiritual enlightenment. Those of you, and now we're talking about us, those of you living in the West, as most of you are here, will be aware subjectively of how material life has tended to monopolize more and more of your time. It is a very different society than societies in other countries in the third world, for example, or in the Muslim world. And the value system of the Western world is therefore very significantly different from the value system which is traditional to our tariqa. आप जानते हैं कि वो जो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में रहते हैं, मे इट बी द यूरोप और अमेरिकास और इवन Australia, we are living in a materialistic societies, and the pressure of the material society is that anything we can see, touch, lay our hand on must be very important. I must have that. And the societies that we live in, the society of show what you have, how much you have, how big of the home you have, how great your bank account looks like, what kind of car you drive. That is the pressure of first world country, the modernized countries, the Western countries, because you are judged by what you wear, where do you live, and what you drive. So those values are the values of the European countries, Western countries. Those are not the value of the third world countries. In the third world countries, you are seen as how good you are, how helpful you are. Are you regular in the practice of your religion? Your moral value is at the front, not your bank account. But we cannot say that for all the Ismailis or all the Muslims. We have hang on to our tradition of our tariqah, our tradition of our families. And that is fortunate, especially those who have their parents, their grandparents, their aunts and uncles. You know, sometimes we see them intruding in our life, but they are important to tradition of our tariqah, of our practice, or our way morally living in the Western countries. So Mullah Baba says, the Western countries, there are very significantly different from the value system, which is the tradition of our tariqah, rooted as it is outside the Western world. You do not need to adopt totally the value system of the societies in which you live. In other words, there are a lot of goods in this society. We should take that. There's a lot of good in this society. And we leave what is not good in this society. We adopt, take what this society has to offer, what is good. जो इस सोसाइटी के अंदर अच्छा है और इनके अंदर बहुत अच्छाइयां है, उसको हमको अडॉप्ट करना है, हमारे तरीके को नहीं छोड़ना है। और जो उनके अंदर बुराइयां हैं, मटेरियलिज्म है, शो ऑफ है, उसको छोड़ना है, ताकि हम बैलेंस लाइफ जी सके। We hang to our tradition, we hold on to our tariqa, and same time we adopt what is good this society has to offer. ये दोनों को साथ में चलाना है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर बहुत अच्छाइयां हैं जिसको हमको अडॉप्ट करना है, जो बुराइयां हैं उसको छोड़ना है, और हमारे ट्रेडिशन, हमारे तरीके को मजबूती से पकड़ना है। Let's try to finish this paragraph. Mullah says, you do not need to adopt totally the value system of the societies in which you live. And sometimes I am concerned that Murids, in seeking to establish themselves in the Western world, confuse such establishment with the need to adopt all of value system. मुला बोलते हैं मैं कंसर्न हूं आपके लिए. There's sometime just try to adjust and fit in. This word fit in. And we have a double pressure. We have a fit in pressure from the society, our work, our neighbors, where we live, who we do business with. And then there is another pressure within the Jamaat to fit in. If he or she is wearing $1,000 sari, clothes, suit, tie, or they are driving Mercedes, I must drive Mercedes. They are living in a $1 million mansion, I must live in a $1 million mansion. So we have a dual pressure upon us. And that is to do with fit in attitude. That we are adopting things which is outside the value system of our tariqah. It has no value, matter of fact. No value. No one would ask you or would care if you lived in a mansion and drove Mercedes. The day you die, you will be given the same rites and ritual, khana vadan, dua, mayat, and they will bury you. It would not make an iota of a difference if you were poor or rich. If you have a $1,000 sari or $20 sari, it would not make any difference. The day which is important, the day that we go meet our Lord, our Creator, on that day, none of this will matter. None, zero. Mullah says, I am saying to you today, there's a system which are the part of our tariqah are acceptable worldwide because they are peaceful, they are honest, they are ethical, and they are proper. आपने देखा मौला फरमाते हैं कि वो ट्रेडिशन जो इनकी है उनको बस छोड़ दो कि हमारे तरीके की जो ट्रेडिशन है वो इतनी डायनामिक है that it is acceptable worldwide. हमारे तरीके की बात कर रहा हूं, सिर्फ इस्माइली तरीके की. हम जिस तरह से अपनी जिंदगी गुजारते हैं, हम दुनिया को भी नहीं छोड़ते हैं, दीन को भी नहीं छोड़ते हैं. हमारी जो ट्रेडिशन है वो वर्ल्ड वाइड एक्सेप्टेड है क्योंकि वो पीसफुल है, हमारे में तजाद नहीं है. वी हैव नो रीजन के हम अगर दुनिया में रहते हैं तो यूं रहेंगे और दीन में रहेंगे तो यूं रहेंगे. हमारे दीन और दुनिया एक साथ, without any conflict, that was the word, without any conflict, we walk on our physical world and our spiritual world. There is no conflict between these two. And you will see, if you pay attention, other tariqah, they have a one set for their physical life. There is another set for their spiritual life. They have a one set for their daily life and another way to follow their tariqah. We don't have that. Our physical and spiritual life runs together. There is no conflict there because our way of living is acceptable worldwide. We are not extremists. We believe in one Imam and one Imam only, regardless of where we live. We don't have 1,000 mullahs telling us what to do in different countries, different cities, different places. We have one Imam. You could be living in the poorest country in Sri Lanka, third world country like Pakistan and India, Bangladesh, or you could be living in Western countries. One Imam, one Farman, we all follow. There is no conflict there. And that is what Imam is saying, that the system, the very system which we have built with Imam, the living and present Imam, is a part of our tariqah, are acceptable worldwide because they are peaceful, they are honest, and they are ethical, and they are proper. And therefore, no one is in a position to challenge this premises. हमारा जो तरीका है उसको कोई चैलेंज नहीं करता है, इंस्टेंटली एक्सेप्ट कर लेता है. क्यों? कि ऐसा नहीं कि खाने के दांत और दिखाने के दांत और. हमारी दुनिया और दीन में फर्क नहीं है. हम अपने दीन को भी ऑनेस्टली एंड एथिकली फॉलो करते हैं, दुनिया को भी ऑनेस्टली एंड एथिकली फॉलो करते हैं, और वो दोनों साथ साथ चलता है. हमारा हर घंटा, हर मिनट ईमानदारी से और दुनिया और दीन एक साथ चलते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि 7 बजे तो मेरा मजहब शुरू हुआ और 7:30 बजे तो मेरी दुनिया शुरू हुई. ऐसा नहीं है. हमारा दीन और दुनिया साथ साथ में चलता है. ओके. But what is essential is to keep as important to you every day this individual search in the practice of the faith. Sometimes there is a tendency, particularly in the Western world, to let the material life override everything else. I think we have already covered that. That because we are living in the Western world, sometimes due to the pressure, due to that we forget that we put so much emphasis on the worldly matters, material matters, and the physical matters, that we forget the spiritual matter, which is more important than all of the physical matter combined. One of the Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, I remember, I don't know what date and where Imam says, if you take your tariqah and put on one side of the scale, and you take the whole world and its material value and put it on other scale, you will see your tariqah has more weight, more value than your physical value. It's such a beautiful way of thinking, that how much we are putting on one side and missing the other side. So material life override everything else. That overriding is not good. It's not good. When you are born with a soul. With the soul. The moment Allah gives you life, each individual has a soul. That is only part of individual which is eternal. So I will stop here. Inshallah, we will continue from this point. Now, if you have any comments or question, anything you'd like me to clarify again, then I will be happy to do so. Ji.
Subhanallah, sir. Subhanallah. Friends, please share your questions in the chat room. Sir, we have friends is asking for the explanation. Please explain our difficulty in understanding. On one side, Hazrat Imam says personal search is the only key to spiritual peace, happiness and elevation, and at the same time, Hazrat Imam says at the start of many Baitul Farman that you only come here if you wish to, and it is free will and our free choice to join our.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So what is for us? We are all doing it. Ibadat is not a for us, compulsory. Meaning, Ibadat must be done with happiness, free will, and with the understanding that Ibadat is the only practice in our tariqah which will set you free, which will bring you closer to the Nur, which will help you tomorrow in afterlife. If I would tell you, and just hear me out, if I tell you, tomorrow you will not be asked, how many times did you miss your dua? But you will be asked, did you perform your ibadat? Free will is our. It's not compulsory, not important. So question now is, or should be, that what do we want out of our life? What do we want? Do we want a minimum mediocrity, or do we want maximum meritocracy? Do we want to just live our life as any other person in the world? You take the ibadat out of your practice. Just for a second. You take the ibadat out of your practice. What is the difference between you and any other Muslim? We have an Imam, and Imam is so great and merciful that he wants to give you something, Isme Azam, to set you free. Who will say, oh, it's okay, I don't need to be free? Who will say that? Second, Imam is so loving, he wanted to give you a gift. Who will say, nah, it's okay, I don't need a gift? Imam, he's so thoughtful, mindful toward the Jamaat and its freedom that he wants to give you the door and the key to the spiritual world. Who will say, oh no, I'm so happy in my physical world and I'm never dying, so why should I even do the ibadat? I'm going to live here forever and ever and ever. I never have to worry about another side. So Mola Baba, thank you. Why do I need what you want to give me? I don't need the key and the door to this spiritual life. That's what Mola Baba is explaining in this Farman, that it is the central practice of our tariqah. But free will is yours. How amazing that is, that you are given the choice to do the right thing. Now, do you want to do it or you don't want to do it? Imam is leaving that up to the individual, because ibadat is an individual personal search for the enlightenment and the spiritual happiness. G.
Sir, we have another, actually, friend is asking for advice, a little bit concerned. Friend's asking, my child overseas doesn't go to Jamaat Khana and doesn't pray. I've been telling her continuously, doesn't want to mix with smileys. Please advise.
That sounds like a very, very personal question. If you like to call me, I would be happy to talk to you. And I can give you my 2 pennies worth. I can definitely talk to you and I can help you, or I can try to help you. But let's take this individually, personally, because this is very personal question, because it has to do with you and your child and your family. G.
Sir, the question, if we will be asked about ibadat, then why dua is mandatory and not ibadat?
That is a good question. That is very, very good question. Dua is our practice. Dua is our discipline. Dua is compulsory, so we know the value of ibadat. Matter of fact, in our tariqah, there is a saying, dua is the essence of ibadat. Meaning, you cannot say, well, I'm not going to worry about dua, I'm going to just focus on ibadat. Dua is the essence of ibadat. To make you regular in the practice gives you the discipline that you need to go into the ibadat. If you are not disciplined or regular in your dua, in your tasbiyat, meaning you are not disciplined enough to do ibadat. I'm going to give you a childish example. Children are taught to brush their teeth, comb their hair, wash their hand, wash their face, take bath, shower. Practice, practice, practice. And now it becomes part of their daily rituals, part of their daily practice. When they are grown up, you don't have to say anything. That is dua. Dua helps you become conscious, disciplined. So you may, when you are about 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, then you start to come to the daily practice. And then when you are at an age where Imam can give you Isme Azam, now because you are in the practice, it would be easy for you to do the ibadat. Discipline is taught in the Shariat, in the dua. Then comes the tariqat. You are taught what is important in this life and the other life. Ibadat comes at the level of haqiqat. Because we are haqiqi mu'mineen, we are in the haqiqi tariqa with the Imam Zaman, ibadat becomes important and the central, the core of our tariqa. And remember, in our previous Farman last week, we were reading that those Muslims who forgot the ibadat, they got lost. The reason we are holding tight to the rope of imamat today is due to the ibadat. That's how important ibadat is. Very good question. Appreciate you asking. G.
Sir, few friends are asking if you can answer that previous question in more generic way. Not the previous, the one, the personal question friend asked.
Okay. Okay. So, children and family. And remember, this is just my garib, nachis, humble opinion. How do you teach your children if your practice has been, and I'm going to be honest over here, please, if this does not agree with you or you don't like the test of this answer, then you can just leave it, don't worry about it, okay? When your kids were growing, when they were growing up, if you had taught them what is right and what is wrong, what is important and what is not important, if we have taught them the value of our tariqa and the value of ibadat, Jamaat Khana, dua, the son, be a good human. If that was the part of your teaching while they were growing up, you would not have to worry about anything today. And I'm not saying this from my own. I want to quote Imam Haka Sultan Muhammad Shah, Salawatullah alayhi, may our soul be sacrificed to the Imam. He has said, if you teach your children the physical shariat of our tariqah, then the physical shariat will sit in their heart and they would not know anything of the spiritual side and the practice of our tariqah. अगर आप अपने बच्चों को सिर्फ हमारे तरीके की ज़ाहिरी शरीयत सिखाएंगे तो उनके दिल में दुनिया और ज़ाहिरी चीजें बैठ जाएंगी, चूंकि आपने उसको हमारे मजहब का बातीन नहीं सिखाया था. Again, let's come back to the question. If we only taught them the physical shariat of our tariqah and never ever taught them what is right and what is wrong. All right? So what is right? The way you guide your children. And this is not, I'm not just saying that, that has been my own practice. Matter of fact, this was the practice of my mother and father. And they will tell you, you do what you think is right. They never force any of us to go to Jamaat Khana. Instead, they will say, we have taught you what is right. And you know what is right. Do what is right. That's how their approach was. I want to use this example within our Jamaat Khana, where I go to Jamaat Khana. We have a couple, and they had approached me with a similar question. This was a few years back. They said, we have been forcing, we have been fighting, we have been in arguments with our child, one son, and we cannot say or do anything for him to come to Jamaat Khana. What do we do? I say, have you ever tried to tell him what is right and what is wrong? They said, no, we know what is right. He doesn't know anything. He's just a child. He doesn't know anything. We know what is good for him. We know what is right for him. I asked again, have you tried to tell your child what is right? Not what to do. Don't tell him what to do. Tell him what is right and what is wrong. And few weeks goes by. One day, this child, I had no idea who he was. He approached me in Jamaat Khana. He asked me, your name is Aziz, sir? I said, yes. Do you know my parents? And I said, who are your parents? He told me the name. I said, yes, I know them. I said, something happened. He told me, something happened a couple of weeks back. They were forcing me so much, I just did not want to come to Jamaat Khana. Because they were telling me that they were right and everything I did was wrong. Then something happened to them. I don't know what happened, but something happened to them. They one day came and told me, you don't have to go to Jamaat Khana. Do this or that. You don't have to do anything. You just do what you think is right. We're going to let you make the right decision. We're not going to make the decision for you. We're not going to force the decision on you. We believe that we have taught you what is right and what is wrong. If you think the practice of the religion is correct and right thing to do, then you do it. If you don't think that's the right thing to do, don't do it. And he said, that gave me a pause. Now the burden was on me. I had to do the right thing. Before I was doing the right thing for them. Before I was going to Jamaat Khana for them. Before I was praying for them. But it's no longer the case. Now I have to do what is right for me. And it's changed his entire life. I'm not saying that this formula will work for your son, your daughter, your children. But that is the approach that Nachis and Garib have taken. And this is the approach and the advice I give to these parents. And I have taught in high school, in REC center. I interact with our Jamaati members in the Jamaat Khana that I go, or whenever I go back home. That is the only advice I have for parents. You cannot force tariqah on your children. Teach them what is right. That's it. G.
Sir, we have another, actually it's a follow-up question from the previous question. Friends asking, but Maulana Hazimam says in his Farman, you will be asked if you have recited your dua regularly, paid the son. But never he said you will be asked about ibadat.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Remember, Mullah's Farman oversees everything. If that is what you believe, then keep doing what you like to do according to Imam's Farman. Remember that. Always, always do what Imam says. And Imam is saying, The ibadat is the core to our tariqah, number one. Number two, I'm sure everyone know, what do you think in afterlife we will be doing? What do you think? You think we will be saying our 3-time dua in afterlife? You think you will be giving the son in your afterlife? What about Chandra Mallas or Nomi Mallas or Life Mallas? Will you be doing any of that in your afterlife? Let me tell you a secret. You will be fulfilling the shortage of the ibadat. The ibadat which you did not perform in this lifetime, you will be covering that ibadat in your afterlife. Now, another secret. Remember, I can only give you what I know. And that is, if you have not fulfilled your obligation towards the ibadat, meaning if you have not finished the ibadat that you need, your soul requires of you in this lifetime, you yourself, with your own hand, with your own understanding, with your own free will, is prolonging the journey of the soul toward Imam, toward the Imam. You can go from here to be one with the Imam in 1 day, in 1,000 years, or in 50,000 years. And let me tell you, all of that is dependent on your ibadat. That's all I have to say. Free will is with you. G.
Sir, we don't have a question in the chat. Friends, please unmute your device if you have any questions.
I like this what Shalina is saying. I believe I said that earlier, few minutes. Dua is the essence of ibadat. I'm not saying don't say your dua, okay? Dua is the essence of ibadat. Remember that. I'm not saying don't do your dua. Dua is the essence of ibadat. If you're not saying your dua, how will you do your ibadat? Ibadat is on top, additional endeavor a moment takes upon himself. Ibadat and bandagi, two part. Itaat and following. Submission. When we enroll ourselves in Baitul Khiyal and when we go to Mullah Bapa for Ismi Azam and Bowl, what we are saying, Mullah Bapa, today I submit myself to you totally. That's the meaning of bandagi. And I will do the itaat, ibadat, the way you want and you wish for me to do. I will do the personal search to find the happiness and the spiritual enlightenment before I die. That is ibadat. G. Somebody is asking for me to repeat what I said about the children in Urdu. Somebody said, is it
Please,
okay
sir.
if I do that?
Yes,
जी,
please, sir.
अच्छा, तो हम बच्चों की बातें कर रहे थे कि क्या करें कि हम बच्चों को जमात खाने आने की, अच्छे काम करने की, इबादत करने की तालीम दे। तो नाचीज ये कह रहा था, और याद रखिए ये सिर्फ मेरा गरीब और नाचीज असूल है, आपको ये फॉलो करने की जरूरत नहीं है, अगर आप चाहे तो फॉलो कर सकते हैं। वो ये है कि बच्चों को जब आप फोर्स करते हैं तो वो नहीं करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपने बच्चों को बचपन से अच्छाई और बुराई की तमीज सिखाई है कि ये सही है, ये तुम्हारे लिए बेहतर है, और ये सही नहीं है, ये तुम्हारे लिए बेहतर नहीं है, अगर ये तमीज सिखाई है तो हमारे बच्चे आज नहीं तो कल हमेशा वो काम करेंगे जो सही होगा, जो सही होगा, वो काम नहीं कि जो हम उस पर थोपते हैं, जिसको हम फोर्स करते हैं। जब आप जिद करते हैं कि नहीं तुम्हें जमात करने जाना ही है, तो वो चिढ़ जाते हैं, अब वो जमात करने नहीं आना चाहते हैं। क्यों? कि उनको ऐसा लगता है कि मैं जमात खाना आपके लिए जा रहा हूं, मैं दुआ आपके लिए पढ़ रहा हूं। हमें अपने बच्चों को ये टीचिंग देनी है, ये सिखाना है कि क्या सही है और क्या गलत है, और उनके ऊपर छोड़े। अब जब वो जमात करने आएंगे तो वो अपनी फ्री विल से आएंगे, वो दुआ पढ़ेंगे अपने लिए, आपके लिए नहीं। वो इबादत करेंगे अपने लिए, आपके लिए नहीं। पहले क्या होता था कि वो जमात में आते थे आपके लिए, दुआ पढ़ते थे आपके लिए, इबादत करते थे आपके लिए। जब आपने उसको अच्छाई और बुराई के दरमियान में तमीज सिखा दी और आपने उसको समझा दिया कि जो तेरे को अच्छा लगे वो कर, लेकिन एक प्रॉमिस, हमेशा वो करना जो सही हो, एंड देन लेट देम, छोड़ दे आप उसको। अगर आपने उसको अच्छाई सिखाई है तो वो खुद अपने लिए, वो क्या होगा पता है, पहले वो जो आपके लिए आता था ना, अब वो बोलेगा अब तो मेरी माँ बोलती भी नहीं है मेरे को, अब मैं क्या करूं, आई नीड पीस टू, आई नीड टू गो एंड से माय दुआ टू, आई सपोज टू गो टू जमात खाना टू, मेरे को ये सब कुछ करना है, लेकिन मेरे को अपने लिए करना है, मेरे माँ बाप के लिए नहीं करना है, मेरी रूह की खुशी के लिए करना है, मेरे दिल के सुकून के लिए करना है। अब जिम्मेदारी उसके कंधों पर आ गई, अब वो खुद ब खुद खुशी से जमात खाना आने लगेगा। जब आप उसको पुश करते थे, फोर्स करते थे, तो वो जिद में आकर नहीं करता था कि नहीं करना है मेरे को। जब आपने उसको बस छोड़ दिया, अब जिम्मेदारी उस पर है, वो सोचेगा अभी तो मैं क्या करूंगा, अब तो मेरे को कोई बोलता भी नहीं है, तो वो खुद ब खुद जमात खाने आने लगता है, अपने खुद की खुशी से, अपने लिए ना आपके लिए। Somebody is writing, so we give kids the free will to choose. Yes, free will to choose, but teach them what is right thing. Don't force them to do right thing. Teach them what is right. और जो मैं आपको ये दाखला दे रहा था एक बच्चे का हमारे जमात खाने में, कि वो किस तरह से 2-3 हफ्ता लगा उसको सोचते सोचते, लेकिन उसने कहा अब मैं यहाँ पर इसलिए आता हूँ क्योंकि मैं मेरे लिए आता हूँ, मेरे लिए आता हूँ। ये इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है। आप बच्चों को जब जबरदस्ती ले जाते हैं तो उनके माइंड में ये आता है कि वो दुआ पढ़ते हैं, जमात में जाते हैं, इबादत करते हैं, दस्तों डालते हैं आपके लिए, उसका क्या फायदा है उसमें, तो व्हाई शुड ही डू इट, और इसलिए वो नहीं करते हैं फिर। तो ये बात थी इसके अंदर जी।
Friends, please unmute your device if you have any questions.
कमरे साहब एक क्वेश्चन ईमेल में आया था, आई डोंट नो कि हमारे पास वक्त है या इसको नेक्स्ट संडे के लिए रखें, वो नादेली के बारे में था।
जी सर, I think we have
अगर हमारे पास कोई सवाल है तो पहले पूछ लेते हैं जी।
So I think we have 5-6 minutes.
Okay, so is there any other question anyone like to ask? Go ahead and ask, unmute your device. Otherwise हम इस नादेली के ऊपर चले जाते हैं। Anyone? Okay, so जी
Yes, sir. Is my thinking, if we want to our kid to go to जमात खाना, हम लोग अगर पहले से जब भी बच्चा बोर्न हो तब से ही अगर जमात खाने जाना स्टार्ट करे, हम लोग अगर वॉलंटियर का भी मेरा एग्जांपल लेती हूँ। मैं पहले से मेरे बेटे को छोटे से ही जमात खाने ले जाती थी। वो बहुत छोटा था, वो देखता था मेरी माँ इतना वॉलंटियरी काम करती है, तो मैं अगर कुर्सी कराऊंगा ये करूंगा तो वो जा कर देगा। इतना छोटा था फिर भी उसने वॉलंटियरी स्टार्ट कर दिया था मेरे साथ। वो पहले था कि 8 साल का बच्चा हो तभी उसको यूनिफॉर्म मिले, इसको 7 इयर्स में मिल गया था, क्योंकि वो सभी ने देख रहा कि इतना अच्छा काम कर रहा है। अगर हम पहले से हम लोग भी कुछ करेंगे तो हमारे साथ वही यूज्ड टू हो जाएंगे, उसको फिर हम लोग को बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती, क्योंकि वो यूज्ड टू हो जाते, उसकी हैबिट हो जाती है। जैसे मैंने किया था मेरे बेटे के साथ, तो मेरा बेटा तो अभी तक बहुत वॉलंटियरी ड्यूटी करता है, सारी जिंदगी उसने वॉलंटियरी ड्यूटी की है। That's what he did.
हाँ, तो हमारा कहने का जो मतलब वो ये था कि आपने जो उसको सिखाया है वो तो सिखाया है, अगर वो वॉलंटरी ड्यूटी नहीं करता है तो क्या आप उसको जबरदस्ती करेंगे, ये सवाल हो रहा था। सवाल ये नहीं था कि वो वॉलंटरी ड्यूटी करता है, जमा खाना आता है कि नहीं आता है, जबरदस्ती करें कि नहीं करें, ये सवाल था ना। अगर कल वो नहीं आता है तो आप क्या करेंगे, ये सवाल है। कल अगर वो जमा खाना नहीं आता है और वॉलंटरी ड्यूटी नहीं करता है तो आप क्या करेंगे।
See, he's thing है, sometimes ये लोग को होता है कि नहीं जाना, मम्मी आज मेरे को जमात खाने नहीं जाना, आज मेरा दिल नहीं करता, तो कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ दो, नहीं आना, it's okay.
तो ये
Don't
बात
have
हो
to
रही
force
थी,
them. Yeah,
ये
don't
बात
have
हो
to
रही
force
थी
them.
कि उनको राइट और रॉन्ग सिखाओ, ना कि ये बोलो कि ये तेरे को करना है। You just show them what is right and what is wrong. And someone was asking, yes, it is difficult कि जब हमारे बच्चे दूसरे मज़हब के बच्चों के साथ घूमते फिरते हैं तो उनकी हैबिट्स को अपने अंदर अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं। उसके लिए भी नाचीज का यही आपको कहना है, you teach them the batin of your tariqa, they will never leave. If you teach them the zahir of our tariqa, they will leave in a minute. अगर आपने अपने बच्चों को बातीन सिखाया होगा तो हमारे मजहब को कभी भी छोड़ के नहीं जाएंगे। अगर आपने अपने मजहब का उसको सिर्फ जाहिर सिखाया है, क्योंकि जाहिर तो हर मजहब में है ना, दे डोंट नीड आवर तरीका। यू सी, आपका जो सवाल था कि जब वो दूसरों के साथ उठते बैठते हैं तो उनके मजहब में और हमारे मजहब में कोई फर्क नहीं है, क्योंकि जाहिर है, हम भी जाहिर है, वो भी जाहिर है। आपने अपने बच्चों को क्या सिखाया, यही तो खुदा मोशा का फरमान था कि अगर आपने खाली मजहब की शरीयत सिखाई होगी बच्चों को तो उनके दिल में जाहिरी मजहब बैठ जाएगा और वो उसको इम्पोर्टेंस देने लगेंगे। और जब वो देखेंगे कि दूसरे मजहब में भी यही हो रहा है, दे डोंट नीड आवर मजहब। लेकिन अगर आपने उसको अपना मजहब का बातीन सिखाया होगा तो वो आपके मजहब को कभी भी छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा। आई थिंक दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन दैट शी वाज आस्किंग। So I think we are out of time. This is a good question about Nadeli. So let's leave this for next Sunday. And inshallah, we will cover this on this Sunday because it will take more than 5, 10, 15 minutes to explain. So any pressing last question? Otherwise, we have 2 more minutes.
Aziz Bhai, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Okay, you said that Bandagi is spiritual and Dua is not spiritual. Now, Hazrat Imam always insists that we should learn the meaning of Dua. And at the end of the Dua, there's Saza Didar. Saza Didar means getting Didar of Maulana Hazrat Imam. Naturally, it should be spiritual. It can't be non-spiritual. How can we get a Didar of Hazrat Imam when it is not spiritual?
I think you just answered your question yourself. Meaning of the dua, you answered yourself. If you don't know the meaning of the dua, you are not doing anything but action, a physical action. So now let me ask you, my brother, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the 100% common, all the Jamaat, right? How many people would even know what it means, Shajadida, Shajadida? You see, meaning you answered yourself. I didn't even have to say anything to you. G. Remember this one. There is no argument about dua, okay? Dua is essence of ibadat. So I don't know why some has taken this personally. There is no argument about dua. There is no argument. Dua is the essence of ibadat. If you just remember this part, you will have no problem remembering what we talked about today. G. So should we stop here, Kamran sir?
Aziz Bhai, my question was not that. My question was spirituality. Dua that means Dua has spirituality inside, because if it is an essence, it is that important. Then there is a spirituality there in Dua, because
Okay.
here you said that this bandagi is spiritual.
Hold on, Mohammed Bhai. I didn't say that. Let me read the Farman which is in front of you. Ibadat, this is a spiritual approach to tariqah because it is a spiritual approach to tariqah. This is the line I was explaining. Ibadat is the spiritual approach to tariqah because it is a spiritual approach to tariqah. This is the part. And let me remind you again, anything I said, please do not take it personally. And remember, you do what you like to do and you believe what you believe.
No,
I'm only here to explain the Farman, and that's it. And let me read again. And each individual seeks during his lifetime to find that spiritual enlightenment, that spiritual happiness that comes with from the search, not from the practice of faith in congregation. I'm just repeating Mola Baba's word. I have nothing to add. It is Mola Baba's Farman that I'm trying to read and explain. What we believe is our individual belief. What you are telling me, you are 100% right, but that is individual belief. Individual belief. And again, dua is essence of ibadat. Without the dua, you cannot do ibadat. Dua is the essence. I don't know how much I can emphasize. I'm trying to agree with you. Dua is essence of ibadat. G. Should we stop here now?
I think, Ji,
Or
sir.
we can continue. I don't mind. Whatever you guys like. G. Kamle sir.
Yeah, I think so. We can stop over here.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mohammed Ba, for a great debate and question. Appreciate it. Thank you all for asking good questions.
Thank
And
you.
if we did not get to your question today, inshallah, we will try to get to it next time. Thank you.
Thank
Yali Madad.
you. Thank you. Very
Yali
Madad.
Thank you
Madad.
and Yali
Yali
Madad.
Madad.
يعني مدد
Yali
يا
Madad.
مدد شكر
يا لمدد thank you
that
Yali
Farman is
Madad.
that Farman is એક તરફ આખી દુનિયાનો માન અને બીજી તરફ ઇબાદત એવું જબરું વજન છે ઇબાદતનું.
Subhanallah. See, my sister found that Farman. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Thank you, Ajit sir. I like very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yani Madad.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Thank you so much.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
يا لي متى
Yali Madad. Yali Madad.